Alrighty YouTube, how you guys doing? This is the Panasonic SD60 which I've been using for the past few weeks. I was in the market for a new camera and I asked you guys on Twitter, hey, what one would you recommend? Mike came along and he said, hey, why don't you go for this SD60? And me having zero expertise in the camera and video area, I went along based on what he said, and I'm thoroughly pleased I actually went with this one for a number of reasons which I'll cover over in this video. Now, previous to this, I've never had a camcorder. I've had two Sony Cybershots. The most recent one was the W300, which I was just fed up in the end. It was giving me a lot of problems, a lot of battery problems, a lot of issues where the camera would just itself just go off, which was not pleasing, not a single bit. So I was searching around, hunting around, didn't know what the terminology was in most of these cameras, and I went along with the SD60 from Amazon for £360, went with the extended warranty. This camera, I was checking earlier on today, it's for £320 now, and any of yous in the market for a camcorder, I would not hesitate one bit to recommend you this camera. So just to give you an overview of the hardware, at the back here you've got your battery placed here. You can take it out and get new ones obviously. You've got three options here. So the first option here is if you want to view the videos that you've recorded or images that you've recorded from the LCD screen here. The middle option allows you to record video, which is what I usually have it set to. And the right one here is the camera, which I don't use much because it's not that great, to be honest. The camera on my iPhone 4, from which I'm recording just now, is much better. You've got the record button here for your video. You've got the image, so if you want to take an image, you press this button here, and you've got the zoom in and zoom out of the camera itself here. And taking you inside, you have got the power button, the place for the SD card in here. Now I'm using the SanDisk 8GB 20 megabytes per second HD video, but you know, I don't really like this. This is the SD8C and it takes three formats, this camera. But I tend to find when I'm importing videos into iMovie, it takes a lot of time, so I maybe should invest in a much faster file transfer. So maybe the 30 megabyte would do. But if you are definitely going for this camera, make sure you get a proper, if you take a lot of videos, make sure you kind of go for the right card. And a bit of a fail on my end, because it does take a bit of time. My previous camera was much faster. You've got your port for the HDMI, the USB and the AV. This is the actual LCD screen, fully adjustable, as you can see. So if you're the sort of person who takes a lot of blogs, vlogs, sorry, and you want to see yourself, you want to see if you're in frame, then this is ideal. You can also have the camera this way here, which is quite nice. At the front here, you've got your built-in microphone, and that is probably one of the biggest downers of this camera, is that you don't have a jack for an external mic. So if you take a lot of professional audio or videos, if you want to, you know, interview people out in the street, you don't really want to be interviewing from here because it's very low, especially if the person is standing on the other side of the street. So having an output would be a bonus. Your light here, so when you're recording video and it's in a dark situation, the light will automatically go on, or you can simply press the light button from here, if it's not already set to auto. And here's the flash for the images, and this is the lens, of course. At the bottom here you've got your hole for the tripod, and this is the release button for the battery pack. So this camera has got a 35x zoom. If you click on the video on the left hand side, you can see the footage that I took a few weeks back, and needless to say, it is absolutely stunning. You can really zoom into those distant places, and this feature coupled with the OIS on this camera, which is another feature, which is optical image stabilization. And basically what that means is when you're zooming in, you're bound to come across parts where the images or the video is going to be blurry, and this option allows you to sort of stabilize those images, eliminate those blurry images, and it's quite nice, definitely for those of you who take a lot of emphasis or place a lot of emphasis on the zooming in and zooming out. That would be quite good. It's also got face recognition, so it can store up to 6 faces, and whenever those faces appear in the camera, it gives them more priority over others, so it definitely is quite nice. And one of the main reasons why I got this camera is because it's full HD 1920 by 1080, giving you those sharper images, and the future is HD, so why not go with an HD camera? And the price point is kind of a steal in my opinion. It's got a 35mm wide camera lens, Some of the navigation features that you see on the right hand side here, i.e. the zooming in, the light button, the record button, are located below the LCD screen as well, so giving you that more better experience. You don't have to, look at it from your right hand side, even although I never use this, simply because when I'm recording, as any normal person would be, you've got your hand in here and placed in the normal position, so you don't really need these navigation buttons. But hey, if you might be recording in a different position, then these will for sure become in hand. So you've got your record button, zooming in, zooming out, the menu button, the light button, and trash to delete the files. Now, going into the menu button, or the menu area, when I got this camera, I was just so used to iDevices, the iPad, the iPhone, the iPod Touch, whereby, I was quite good, or quite, I found it very, very nice to use the touchscreen on those devices. But on this Panasonic SD60, don't hold your breath. It does take a few days to get used to it. It's not the same screen as on the iPod Touch and the iPhone, so the first few days I was pretty much battling my way through it because I kept on pressing the wrong things. You do have to press in a bit more than you do. As you can see, I've just gone into a totally different setting. I didn't intend to. So you do have to press a bit more than you would on an iPhone or an iPod Touch. But that's a given, since Panasonic have no link up with Apple, and not every company can be the same. But nevertheless, this camera is well worth the money. Some stunning features on it, as I've mentioned earlier. The only two negatives I can really think about is the lack of port for the external mic. Would have been good to have an external microphone option. And the second one would have to be the touchscreen itself. It would have been good to have something similar, when navigating through the options. But it does take about a week to get used to. Other than that, the positives do definitely outweigh the negatives. The better battery life, the zooming in, the stunning quality that you're going to get once you're edited the movies. The price point is fantastic. It's at a steal, in my opinion. So that was my kind of take on this camera. Those of you possibly getting this camera, I would not hesitate one bit in getting it. Go for it. It's really good. And definitely, I don't need to say anything. You've seen my videos previously. You've seen the quality. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, you can join me on eyeglassregion.com, twitter.com/i6glassregion. You can join my Facebook fan page, facebook.com/eyeglassregion. If you happen to have this camera or any other camera of the Panasonic range, or hell, any camcorder range, do post a video response below. It's always interesting to see what you guys are recording from, and give me some ideas for the future. Thanks for watching. Cheers.